Everybody, welcome back to the Calibrate Tools channel. How's everybody doing? I know there's a lot going on uh, in the world today. We're going to focus on a couple of subjects, and it's pretty much going to be narrowed down to Southern California and what's going on with the fires. I talked about this in my last couple of lives, but we're going to dive more into the ramifications or the effects that these fires are going to have on home prices and so forth. So if you're into that kind of stuff, stick around because we're going to dive right into it. So I hope everybody's doing well. Glad you guys can make it, and feel free to leave a comment and add whatever whatever you can to the subject matter. That's always appreciated. And yeah, I'm close to a window anyway. That's why you heard that. So if you like I said, uh, if you feel like you want to participate, I would love that. That's what these lives are all about. So let's dive right into it, guys. I was doing some more research on what the effects these fires are going to have on, just the general economy here in Southern California, especially home prices. In the last, year or so, I talked a lot about the labor shortage. Okay, the labor shortage that's going on. And guess what? That's going to get worse. Why? Because we have a new administration that just came into office, and well, a new person. His name is Donald Trump. He just came into office, and he's laying down the law out here. Everybody sees that he is laying down the law. He's putting his foot down, and immigration is one of his biggest. I guess what was one of his biggest pet peeves, and he's doing something about it, according to him, right? So a lot of people, out of fear, are leaving. They're leaving their jobs. I'm talking about people that are consider themselves illegal immigrants, or some even are legal. Feel the threat from the administration to remove them, right? So guess what? That's going to open up a wide gap. A huge hole is going to open up in the building trades, for instance, right? Because a lot of these immigrants, I think they constitute about about 3/4. Don't quote me on that, but a large amount, a large percentage of the workforce when it comes to the building trades. So you can look at that in a couple of ways. You can look at that in a couple of ways. It's gonna be more opportunity to get in, right? Or you can look at it as a sad thing, right? That a lot of people are going to lose their jobs and this and that. But because of this shortage that's going to happen, that is happening now, because a lot of people aren't showing up for work based on the threat of being, deported and all this other stuff. That's going to create an upward pressure on prices, because now, because of the labor, because the labor supply is the labor supply is going to be pretty much impacted in a negative way, right? Because of that. So now it's going to cost more for these homes and whatever to be built, okay? Because there's not enough people there. So let's dive into the specifics of this and see if we can hash this out. And like I said, guys, feel free to jump in and add your 2 cents to this, okay? So it says before the fires happened, like I said, we already had an availability crisis when it comes to homes, right? The housing shortage already existed, so these fires pretty much are going to make it worse, okay? A lot of people are probably going to be homeless. Rents are going to go up. Housing prices are going to go up, because once again, the supply has been impacted in a negative way. So you're going to have a lot of people struggling to pay rents, and even if you rebuild a home, can you even afford to build it, right? So a lot of people are going to be exiting or leaving the state, possibly, or struggling very hard to make it. And that's the situation that we're in right now. Okay, so let's see. So like I pointed out just now, there's going to be a huge demand in rentals. So if you're a landlord, you're probably happy as a lark right now because you can raise your rents because a lot of people are going to be looking for rentals. Okay, short-term rentals are in right now because of these fires, and so if you're in the rental game, you know, that's where it's at. That's where it's at right now, and I hate to say it like that, but that's just the way it goes. So let's see here. Let's see if I can dive into this. The loss of thousands of homes will tighten up the housing supply in the areas affected by the fires. Okay, this will bring prices up when housing demand begins to recover in the spring. This represents a worsening of the existing inventory crisis in California and Los Angeles County, where the ongoing tension between limited supply and robust demand for housing has kept competition fierce and home prices high in the past few years. Now they do have the big guys out there that are probably going to look to see how they can benefit from it too. But when it comes to building like individual homes, maybe not so much because the big guys like KB Home, Lennar, and a couple of other big home builders, they don't make their money off of building homes like individual small homes together. They build developments. Okay, that's their business model. Huge housing developments is what they concentrate on. Now, what they'll probably try to do is, for the people that lost their homes, they're probably going to try to entice them to come live in their new planned communities that they're building up. That's probably what they're going to focus on. The smaller contractors and home builders, in a regional sense, or the smaller guys, they're gonna be the ones to build the individual homes. Okay, they're gonna be the ones to build the homes back up on an individual basis. Not so much the big guys. Their job is gonna be to see if they can, get the land and build those developments back and get people in there. So their sales team is going to be, working overtime to get these people, housed again, but in their developments. All right. So if you're a smaller contractor or a smaller home builder, this is your chance to get in. Okay. This is your chance to get in and do well. Also, if you're an architect, if you're trained in some kind of home design, training or skill, then this would be a good time for you to get in as well. Okay. All right. Here's another aspect of that you might consider. A lot of these insurance companies have ran for the hills. Okay. They ran for the hills in this situation, and the ones that did stay, they're probably gonna raise their rates. So you got to expect that. And because a lot of these guys, they're probably not going to see it as profitable to even stay here. So be prepared for higher home, not just home prices, but insurance prices as well, insurance rates. And, that's what we're looking at. All right. So the wildfires devastating Los Angeles could be a critical tipping point for risk tolerance among American renters and homeowners. While the country's disaster-prone areas can continue to see more people move in than out, overall, behavior has begun to shift in California. Okay. The state's high-risk fire areas in 2023 saw a net loss of residents, marking a reversal from the prior year. So people are leaving. People are getting out of here, right? You can't blame them, because a lot of people lost a lot, and they don't want to risk it again. So either California does something about its policies on how it builds its houses, particularly referring to the use of fire-resistant materials to lure people back in and make them feel safe again. Because earthquakes is one thing, but now you got fires. People are scared. People don't want to risk it, right? So they're getting out of here, especially the ones that lost it all. All right, so let's see. All right. Now I did touch on the labor shortage, and how it's going to be worsened by this new administration coming in, because of the immigration policies that are being enacted right now. And yeah, I mean, to me, they should have saw this coming. But me personally, I think it's, it's an issue of, you have people that you're exploiting for cheap labor, and that's how you built up the economy in the first place. But now when, things are getting out of hand in terms of population control, now you want to get rid of them. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. And that's really going to affect the economy in terms of, building, the building trades, and all of that. So, let's see here. Okay. When you get down to the subcontractors that work in the residential space, you're talking about a third of workers that are immigrants. Okay, according to this article, the workforce is still recovering from the housing crash that triggered the Great Recession in the 2000s. Many workers left the industry and never came back. As skilled tradespeople have aged and come closer to retirement, fewer young people have entered the pipeline. Immigrant labor makes up that shortfall in the labor pool that we don't have, because we're not either attracting domestic workers or training enough domestic workers to fill the roles that that's needed. Why aren't you training domestic workers? That's my question, right? Why are you experiencing this? Why was your productivity solely dependent on immigrant workers? To me, that was a mistake right there. And once again, it came down to almighty dollar, right? If you can get some cheap labor, why not, right? But when you have things happening like what's happening now you're crying about it. So yeah, that's why I always stress on this channel, getting a skilled trade, no matter who you are, immigrant or not, getting a skilled trade, because it's not only about you, it's about the economy, right? It's about having a well-trained population, not just in getting college degrees and other things, right? You need what I call the essential skills, just like they had essential workers during COVID that you couldn't dispense with. They were essential, right? There's such things as essential jobs, right? Essential skills, essential trade skills that you need to have in order to sustain a well-functioning and well-oiled community or society or whatever you want to call that. But now you see, because of the greed, right? Now it's, you pretty much undermine yourself. So this was about to happen anyway, right? This was about to happen. All you needed is the right political environment to come in and shake things up in a negative way. So, but I understand both sides, to be honest with you. And but at the end of the day, you got to pick a side, and which one would you rather have? Would you rather have this, an unstable economy because of who's in office or politics, or would you rather have something else built that's stronger than just politics, right? That it doesn't matter who's in office, it'll still stay stable. But here you go. This is what you got. Let's see. Kind of cruising through here, guys, looking for some. Let's see. We need to build more housing, which means we need more workers, which means we need to find a way to bring more people into the country legally in order to work in the industry. Programs that protect migrants from deportation could also be at risk. There's also fears around what could happen to programs that exist now that provide temporary immigration protections and work authorization to immigrants in the country currently. And these programs getting ready to end. All right. So yeah, a lot of people, are their livelihoods are, pretty much at stake, at risk. because of the political climate right now. And if this country suffers or your region suffers because of it, it's not the fault of the migrants, in my opinion. It's the fault of the policies that were allowed to happen in the first place. And it's also the fault of, to me, it's also, it stretches beyond the borders, right? Because why are these people coming over here to work? Okay. They're coming over here to work because it's I guess, in where they're from, it's not as stable, or they see more opportunity here to live a better life and maybe help their families where they came from. And but they get tripped up with the law. So, both sides have to contend with the part that they played in this whole situation, and how it just affects not just them but everybody else. Even everybody. It affects the economy, right? Once again, it affects if you were born and raised here, or you consider yourself all American or whatever, now you have to contend with higher home prices, right? Because of the labor shortage, right? Because of this, because of that. So nobody's really exempt from feeling the effects of these policies, whether you feel it a little bit or feel it a lot. So let's see. That. So yeah, like I said, it'll be interesting to see how the home builders contend with this. The big guys, are not going to be, like I said, it's always a space that opens up for the mid-level guys to get in and grab their share, right? Sometimes you're too big to move fast enough, or just too big enough to get in a smaller space, if you understand my analogy, right? And so if you're someone getting into contracting or in the building trades, this is really an opportunity here. It's really an opportunity to make a name for yourself. And I hate to say that, in light of the people losing everything and all that stuff, I get it, but every dark side has a silver lining, right? Every dark cloud has a silver lining, and it's not about taking advantage of people, but it is about taking advantage of opportunities. So, if you're a tradesman of any kind, electrician, welding, plumber, contractor, whatever, and you have a chance to rebuild these houses on an individual basis, then, try to get in there. And I know, because it's going to be a lot of competition between you guys. I'm telling you right now, the competition is probably going to be fierce, trying to get those contracts and all of that. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see. Yeah. And, it will be interesting to see I guess in the next 6 months where things are going to be, in terms of the state of the state of this economy here, especially in Southern California, and the state of the building trades, considering the new administration and their policies. It's really, because if you get rid of 3/4 of a workforce, who are you going to replace them with? Who are you going to replace them with? In my opinion, once again, you need to bring the trades back into the schools, right? So the people that you consider legal or have the right to be here have the proper training, to replace those that are not going to be here anymore, or at least the numbers are going to be dwindled down to who knows what. So those people need to be replaced, okay? And they need to be paid accordingly. So you may have to raise your wages that you pay people and that are coming into the workforce, because they're not gonna just take what the person that had to get out of here took. They may require, they can demand more. So that'll be interesting too, to see if there's going to be a wage bump, in the building trades as well. So let's see. All right. Well, anyway, guys, that's just me touching on this subject a little bit more, and that's all I really got to say tonight, guys. If you want to support this channel, do a lot of tutorials on the channel. If you're new to the channel, you learn a lot. Just go right there to here it is, to calibrate.com right there, and that's one great way you can support the channel. I just put out a planner and home improvement planner to really help you with those projects that you're about to work on and coming into the new year. And check it out. We got a lot more stuff, and I'll leave it in the description for you. And I appreciate you guys coming on and supporting. So take care. Have a good one.